Anthony V is now out of the game, but as one target leaves, another one always emerges. Welcome to Big Brother. Good evening, I'm Julie Chen Moonves. Welcome to Big Brother. Last week, Alex gained power and took a major shot at Anthony. With Anthony gone, will people flip and target Alex next? We'll find out soon enough. But first, with Bella winning HOH, the power has shifted to the other side of the house, leaving some people in trouble. Congratulations, Bella! You are the new head of household.
The house feels really small right now. We are down to only 8 people, so I'm really happy that I'm one head of household.
I'm getting a little worried due to the fact that I'm very close with everyone in the house. I'm going to have to pick a side soon. Not yet, though.
I made this deal with Bella that should keep me safe through this week, but that still leaves 2 of my biggest allies in danger. I really need to protect them.
I'm worried this week. I feel like everyone has a connection to Bella, which could leave me in trouble. My main issue right now is that I don't have a go-to ally. I'm just floating in the middle.
Bella goes to the Queen's Alliance to talk about her nominees. She says that if she had it her way, Reza would be the one to leave this week. He is the one that has most actively targeted her throughout the game, and is pretty sure that if he won HOH, she'd definitely be going home. No one in the group has any objections to this. For her other nominee, she was thinking Alex or Maeve. In her eyes, she is closer with Maeve, which would make her inclined to put up Alex. On the other hand, Alex did keep her safe last week when he was HOH, and she'd feel bad not returning the favor.
Literally the last thing I want right now is for Alex or Reza to be evicted. But if I push too hard to get Aaron out, Bella and Emma could easily turn on Julia and I and target us next. Like, yes, Aaron is the only person I'm not aligned with in the game, but pushing to take her out isn't what I need to be doing right now.
Aaron also goes to Bella though, saying that in her eyes, Alex and Maeve are a huge threat as a duo this late into the game. They both have amazing resumes, and one of them really should be the one to leave this week. Bella says that that's a great point that she hadn't really considered before.
Reza has said that he's coming after Bella, but Alex and Maeve are a strong pair, whereas Reza doesn't have anyone. In the end, Alex and Maeve are going to be the bigger threat than Reza.
Still leaning towards targeting Reza for the week, Bella goes to Alex. She says that she is going to be completely transparent. She doesn't want to target him this week. Her goal is to make sure that Reza is the one that leaves. Unfortunately, she thinks that the best way to do this would be to nominate him next to Reza. Alex says he understands. He thanks her for not making him her main target, and he totally understands that she needs to do what she needs to do. He does ask her though, what will happen if someone wins the veto and saves Reza. She says that that's what she's worrying about, and that she doesn't entirely know.
I'm nervous. I trust Bella that I'm not her main target, but her response about the veto being used makes me want to win it so badly. I know I can do it.
Hey everyone, it's time for the nomination ceremony. This is the nomination ceremony. It is my duty as head of household to nominate 2 house guests for eviction. In my nomination block are the keys of the house guests I am nominating for eviction. I will turn 2 keys to lock in my nominations and their faces will appear on the memory wall. The first house guest I've nominated is the next house guest I have nominated is I've nominated you, Reza, because you've nominated me in the past and it worries me that you've been so under the radar lately. I've nominated you, Alex, because we haven't worked very closely in this game. This nomination ceremony is adjourned.
My 2 closest allies, all on the block, together. Perfect.
I personally think that Reza is one of the best players in this game, specifically one of the best players to play alongside. I do not want him leaving right now.
The last time Bella nominated me, the last time no ma'am. Last time I went home.
Reza and Alex are the 2 people I trust the least. Reza is clearly after me, and I don't talk to Alex much, so he could easily put me up.
Will Bella get her way and send home Reza? Will Alex and Maeve be broken up? Will people be able to convince Bella to send home Erin? So much can still happen. Stay with us. Welcome back to Big Brother. Bella has nominated Reza and Alex for eviction, but with everyone in the game wanting something different, almost anything is possible.
Hey everyone, it's time to pick players for the veto competition. Only 6 people will participate in the veto competition. The head of household, the 2 nominees, and 3 other players selected by random draw. Will the nominees please join me up here? I, along with the 2 nominees, will pull a chip to determine the other players competing. If your name is drawn, you will also compete.
If I don't get picked to play in this veto, someone will be facing my lawyers.
As head of household, I will choose first. Maeve.
I'm the only person left that hasn't won a competition yet. I want to play and win. I still don't know how I haven't been evicted yet.
Emma. That could have gone better. There's no way that Emma would save me, right?
House guest choice. I choose Caitlin.
I do not want to win this veto. The thing is though, if I do poorly, it's going to look mad sus to Alex and Maeve, 2 people whose trust I don't want to lose. I'm just trying to keep trust with everyone.
Big Brother will inform us when the competition is to begin. Good luck.
Bella goes to Emma, Julia, and Caitlin to discuss the veto. Caitlin asks her what she thinks she would do if Alex or Reza came off the block this week. Julia, very quickly realizing what could happen, jumps in and says that she probably shouldn't nominate one of them, since if they are not all on the block, they would control the vote. While this is true, Bella says that she would probably still nominate Julia as a pawn, since no one would send her home over Alex or Reza.
If Alex or Reza manage to win the veto, I'll just put Julia up as a pawn. Aaron, Emma, and Caitlin would all keep Julia in the game over Alex or Reza, so it's an easy move. However, I am also considering making a big move and putting up Caitlin instead, then talk to Alex, Maeve, and Reza and send her home. She's in such a good spot right now and is aligned with everyone. We may never get this chance again.
Reza, on the other hand, has a different plan. He tried pushing for it slightly last week, but it didn't work. This week, he is trying to push for the same thing, sending Aaron out the door. He pulls Caitlin aside, telling her this plan. Caitlin, who is aligned with pretty much everyone except Aaron, is more than down to get Aaron evicted. She is nervous though, because Bella is the HOH, and she knows that the two of them are close. If she pushes too hard for this, she could lose trust with Bella.
I definitely need to join up with Julia and Caitlin. However, that means I could lose Alex or Maeve's trust. Plus, Caitlin and Julia both have other connections to the girls. It's risky, but there isn't another way.
While Reza is thinking of a bigger backdoor plan, Alex is merely trying to stay safe. He goes to Caitlin, telling her that he didn't know who to pick for houseguest choice, since Maeve was already picked. Caitlin tells him not to worry, and she appreciates being picked. Alex asks if she would use the veto on him. Caitlin says that she would. Alex loves to hear this, but doesn't have a ton of faith that she's actually going to try and win it.
Hey everyone, it's time for the veto competition. Everyone head to separate rooms. Big Brother will call you out to the backyard when it is your turn to compete. Good luck!
House guests. The winner of Big Brother usually wins $500,000, but it's time for you to collect some money now. This competition is called Mint Condition, and here's how it works. On go, you will be given 18 bills, each listing an event that has happened over the course of the season. It is your job to put the events from earliest to latest. When you think you have it correct, buzz in. But be warned, if you buzz in incorrectly twice in a row, you will be given a time penalty. The house guest to put all 18 bills in order the fastest will win the golden power veto. I'm feeling good going into this competition. I studied hard last night, and I know the season pretty well. My strategy for this competition is to figure out exactly when each event happened, then sort them out by putting them on the board. That way I won't have to do any guessing and get a time penalty. I know that the flamingo appeared in the background on day 7, which was the Bird Brain HOH competition.
This competition is called Bird Brain, and here's how it works.
The third unanimous eviction is a tough one. First was Matt and Dan, but I think the next one was James, and I think he was evicted on day 34.
By a vote of 8-0, James, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
Yes! I feel like $1,000,000 right now! I'm confident that I have a pretty good time, but we'll have to wait and see.
I know I have to be subtle about how I throw this competition. I don't want to win at all. I'm just hoping that Alex, Maeve, or even Bella are able to win this. Both the hero and villain HOH were both girls for the first time? Okay, period, that's me!
Congratulations, Caitlin and Maeve! You are the new heads of household.
Wow, I cannot remember for the life of me when Anthony H. competed in vetoes.
Big Brother will inform us when the competition is to begin. Good luck.
I know I was trying to throw that, but I genuinely could not have completed that any faster than I did.
I've never been great at these memory comps. Thankfully, this time I have decent notes. Hopefully I pull through.
I really feel like I can do this. Something in me is ready to win and save myself.
This Anthony H one is really messing me up. I'm losing so much time right now.
Wow, so this is going horribly. I guess individual competitions are just not my thing. I think it's gonna come down to Maeve and Bella. They both have killer notes.
The majority of these events are easy to figure out. I just have to remember the day they happened and line them up. The tricky thing is, if I get even one wrong, everything is thrown off. The third unanimous eviction one is easy. Matt and Dan were unanimous, and then the third one was Kate.
By a vote of 11 to 4, Kate, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
I can't believe I kept thinking that the Kate vote was unanimous. It wasn't. James was the third unanimous eviction.
House guests, it's now time to reveal your times from the veto competition.
I'm really hoping that Maeve was able to pull this one out. She's the only person that I trust would pull me down.
The worst case scenario right now would be for Reza to have won this veto, meaning that Alex would go home. I would literally cry.
Emma has finished with a time of 42:21. Emma is currently in the lead. Alex has finished with a time of 32:04. Alex, you are now in the lead. Bella has finished with a time of 38:31. Maeve has finished with a time of 14:46. Maeve has taken the lead.
How on earth did Maeve do that so fast?
Caitlin has finished with the time of 44:55. Sorry, Caitlin, but that time isn't fast enough to beat Maeve.
And it looks like Caitlin threw it.
Reza has finished with the time of 34:14, which means congratulations, Maeve. You have won the golden power of veto.
Guess who's safe for another week? The leftovers! Woo, 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 woo. Dang, we are really killing this game right now.
Wow, Maeve killed that. That just means that I'm gonna have to work twice as hard if I want to stay this week.
Maeve goes to Alex to officially confirm that she fully plans on saving him with the veto this week. Alex thanks her. They have officially made it to at least the final 7. They are so close to getting to the final 2 together. Shortly after, Reza stops in to talk about how all 3 of them are going to get out of this week. He says that he really wants to form a plan to try and get Erin on the block. Maeve and Alex say that they'd love for that to happen, but they think there really is no shot. They might just have to lose a number here. Reza, a little annoyed how Alex and Maeve aren't fully willing to help, goes to Erin with a proposal. He says that he knows they haven't been the closest, and that they've kind of been targeting each other, but if they look at it, everyone else in the game has a solid number 1 ally. Alex and Maeve, Caitlin and Julia, Bella and Emma. If either of them want to have any shot at winning, they are going to have to team up. He asks her if she'd be willing to help him in any way to stay this week.
Alex and Maeve betrayal on the way? I would need Erin on my side though.
No help. Reza is literally no help. Hi, Erin. I'd like your help to stay, and then I'd put you up if I want HOH. That is what I heard him say. I would literally never flip against Bella and Emma. They're the only people I trust in the game, and it's funny that he thinks I'd even consider it.
On the other end of things, Julia, knowing that she could now be in some trouble, meets up with Caitlin to form a plan to try and get Bella to change her mind about nominating Julia as a pawn. They say that maybe they can convince Bella that people would actually vote out Julia, and that someone like Emma would be a better pawn against Reza. Then, they can actually flip and keep Reza this week.
I really don't want to go up and be voted out in a blindside. I hope Alex and Maeve will be on board with this plan so that we can all stay this week.
The two of them go to Alex and Maeve with this to see if they'd be on board. And after thinking it over, both Alex and Maeve say that this is actually a really good plan. They're on board to try and keep Julia off of the block.
I'd love for this to happen. I'm dying to be part of one of those epic BB plans. Hopefully this works.
Maeve goes to Bella, enacting the plan, saying that she doesn't know if Julia would be totally safe if she went up as a pawn, and that someone else might be a better option. Bella asks why she thinks this though. Maeve, realizing now that she didn't think through why, says on the spot that she and Alex see Julia as the middleman in everyone's alliances and is a dangerous threat to get to the end.
To be honest, I like that Julia and Caitlin feel a little scared. They are sitting perfectly in the middle and haven't had to be nervous about going home.
Hey everyone, it's time for the veto meeting. This is the veto meeting. Reza and Alex have been nominated for eviction, but I have the power to veto one of the nominations. I have decided to use the power veto on Alex. Bella, since I've just vetoed one of your nominations for eviction, you must now name a new house guest as the replacement nominee.
Julia.
This veto meeting is adjourned.
This is so sad. I don't want to see Reza go, but my loyalty is with Julia.
There isn't really a lot I can do here. I'm just gonna have to see who here really values my honesty and who's willing to stick with me.
Reza and Julia are left on the block. When we return, the live vote and eviction will take place. Will people honor Bella's wishes and evict Reza? Or will the house notice Julia's great position and take this shot now? Stay with us. Welcome back to Big Brother. After the veto meeting, Bella put Julia up on the block, making it very clear that she is a pawn. But in this game, pawns can go home. This eviction is far from decided.
Bella goes to the Queen's Alliance to tell them all that Julia should be totally safe this week. Caitlin and Emma will both keep her, and Erin is on board as well. Another successful week is in the bag. Erin goes to Reza though, saying that she has thought about what he said earlier and is actually somewhat considering it. While she'd never vote Bella or Emma out, she does see that people like Julia and Caitlin and are very connected and could win the whole thing. She asks him if he thinks he'd be able to get 2 other votes to stay. Reza says that he can talk to Maeve and Alex. This just may work.
My only hope is Erin. The thing is, she's extremely loyal to Bella and Emma. And considering the fact that I'm from season 3, it's going to be very tough to get them on my side in the future too.
Reza goes to Alex and Maeve, asking for their votes. Maeve says that as much as she wants to, she doesn't see a way. Reza says that's where she's wrong, Erin says that she's actually going to vote to keep Reza. If the two of them are on board, the three of them can all stay in the game this week. Reza leaves the room, and Alex and Maeve discuss this. Maeve says that there are two main arguments here. On one hand, Reza is a stronger ally than Julia is. He will be a shield for them in the future, and he is entirely on their side. On the other hand, if they keep Julia, they will still have both Caitlyn and Julia on their side, and 2 is greater than 1. Granted, Julia and Caitlyn are in the middle and may be a little less reliable. They are very much up in the air, and it may come down to a last-minute decision.
This is the most difficult vote I've had to cast all game. I'm gonna pee my pants, this is so painful. I'm gonna commit vehicular manslaughter, this is so painful. I'm gonna paint the Mona Lisa from Grinder Sands from Honolulu, this is so painful. Ground sands, oh my god, just ruined the moment there.
Julia or Reza, tonight one of them will join the jury. Let's head to the living room to start tonight's live vote and eviction. House guests, it's time for the live vote to begin. Reza, Julia, in just moments your housemates will cast their votes to evict. But before they do, you each have one final chance to sway their votes with one brief statement. Reza, you're up first.
Show yourself, then your whip.
Thank you, Reza. Julia, you're up.
My speech cannot possibly top that one. Okay, so obviously this is really sad being up against another honest player. I have nothing really negative to say about Reza, and I will ask you guys to keep me tonight. I hope I have established a nice enough relationship with you guys to earn your vote tonight. I have not won many comps, and I have never personally gone after any of you. I have tried my best to stay as honest and loyal as possible in this game as I could do so far. So I hope that you all see that of me as a player. Best of luck to you, Reza.
Thank you both. It's now time for the live vote to begin. The head of household is not allowed to vote. Neither are the two nominees. One at a time, the rest of you will head to the diary room and cast your vote to evict. Caitlyn, you're up first tonight. Please head to the diary room. Caitlyn has been working with Julia since the beginning of the game, so her vote tonight should be obvious. Hi Caitlyn, please cast your vote to evict.
I sadly vote Reza.
With Erin's closest ally out of the game, Erin is now flying solo. Hi Erin, please cast your vote to evict.
I'm voting to evict Reza.
Alex has had close ties with both Reza and Julia throughout the entire game. So, which way will he vote tonight? Hi Alex, please cast your vote to evict.
I cannot believe I'm about to say this, but I vote to evict Reza.
It's official, with 3 votes to evict Reza. Reza will be leaving the house tonight. But let's see how the rest of the votes fall. Hi Emma, please cast your vote to evict.
I sadly vote to evict Reza.
With the leftovers both safe for the week, both Alex and Maeve are looking to take control of the game. But how will Maeve vote tonight? Hi Maeve, please cast your vote to evict.
I really sadly vote to evict Reza.
All of the votes are in. Let's give the news to the house guests. House guests, all of the votes are in. When I reveal the vote, the evicted house guest will have just a few moments to say their goodbyes, gather his or her belongings, and walk out the front door. By a vote of 5-0, Reza, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
First, take a long, hard look at your allies. There's a reason why I was targeted. You know how I play. Think about why it was me. 2, thank you all for actually playing the game after the whole rant thing earlier. I don't really know a lot of you too well outside of the game, unlike how all you guys all know each other. I came off pretty assholey when I ran about stuff, and I just wanted to clarify it wasn't meant as a personal diss. 3, capitalism is an exploitative economic system. It cannot exist without the exploitation of workers. It is at the root for many of the social injustices I've seen you fight for over social media, And going to schools like we did typically means our parents don't care. We can be the generation to change that. I have learning resources if you're interested. 4, most importantly, shout out production for everything you do. And 5, and finally, I'd rather lose and play the way I did than win by any other means.
Reza, have a seat. I have some questions for you. So, you played this game honestly from start to end. Looking back now, would you still play it the same way, knowing that it got you here?
I definitely would have played the same way. I take close to heart the saying that the ends don't justify the means. So, with that in mind, I like to do things in my life a certain way and abide by a certain core set of values I hold myself to. And that applies to everything, which includes Big Brother. So, yeah, I didn't do as well as I may have hoped, but considering the circumstances, I'm very happy with how my game went and how I played. And there's always room to do better, but end of the day, I'm happy with how I played, especially because I played it my way.
You talked a lot about how everyone has their main alliance in the house and how it was hard to break into them. Now that the game is down to just 7 house guests, who do you think is in the most trouble now that you're gone?
Main alliances are very, very important, and that's why I think the person most at risk after me is Aaron. Because Aaron and I are both floaters, as I like to call it. I think we both, and Aaron better than I, honestly, do a very good job of floating. And that's not to say we take the middle ground on everything, but we're able to float with different alliances and then have a final 2 or have someone we're very strongly allied to at the end. Aaron with Anthony in her season, me with Juliana in my season. Neither of us were able to find that this year. I took the bullet first. I definitely think she would be next.
Well, Reza, in the event that you were the one evicted tonight, your former housemates taped some goodbye messages for you. Take a look.
Bye, Reza. Although I honestly think that a flip vote would have been so interesting for this one, I did want you out and you were my biggest target just because like we had that feud and like I knew you would put me up if you were given the chance. And also like I just have barely talked to you in the game. Like I've talked to you the least out of everyone, but I think you had a good game and it was fun playing with you.
Reza, thank you for being such an amazing ally these past few rounds. You really have been the best to me, the most honest, the most understanding. I don't know the word to use because you've just been so great and such a great player throughout this game. I'm so sad that it had to end like this. Trust me, I tried so hard to make sure you stayed. I'm sad that we were up against each other on the block. That's a position I never thought I would be put in or you would be put in. Thank you so much for playing so well and for being a great ally.
Reza, I'm really sorry that you went home tonight. I'm glad we finally got to be in a season together, and I wish you the best of luck in life and in Canada.
I can't talk right now. I'm doing hot girl. Being good, I'm a bad bitch. I'm sick of motherfuckers trying to tell me how to live. Whack hoes hate under my pictures on the gram. Bitch, you better.
Hey Rosa, so I was gonna send a TikTok, but I thought this written message would be a lot more meaningful. And all I really have to say is I'm so sorry that this is how everything had to end for you, because the 4 of us fought. We thought of every possible way to keep you in, and there was just a moment when we realized that there was nothing else we could do. And it was the largest feeling I felt the largest feeling of defeat in the world. And I just sat there heartbroken because you really have been one of the best players I've seen play this game. It was such an amazing time playing with you, and I loved our lines. And so you will be missed in this game.
Reza, I am going to miss you so much. I don't really ever have true allies in this game, but working with you was so exciting. You even make Canada sound exciting. That's impressive.
Hey, Reza. This is the first eviction I'm, like, emotionally, like, worn from, like, in my entire, like, playing career. I valued our alliance and, dare I say, friendship above a lot of things in this game. And I really wanted to make it to the end with you and Alex because I really enjoyed every conversation we had. And that Zoom we had was so fun.
I wish I didn't have to make this goodbye, because you were one of the people who I thought deserved to win the game. And it's really sad to see you go before other people, but it's a game, and hopefully I see you outside of this thing. Bye.
Thank you, Reza, so much for coming back to play again. For now, you're headed off to the jury house. We'll see you back here on finale night. Next week, a new twist is introduced to the house. Let's head to the living room to tease this twist. House guests, I have some announcements for you. So, as you know, this season you've been divided into heroes and villains. Immediately, the heroes and villains were pitted against each other in early HOH comps, and their nominees have battled each other. Then, we gave you all a chance to show your heroic side by granting one another secret superpowers in the game. And finally, we gave you a chance to show your villainous side by voting to give one of your fellow house guests a punishment. There is one thing in common with these twists. They have all revolved around your games and your actions. But now, it's time for Big Brother to have its turn at being a little heroic and villainous. Get ready for the craziest, weirdest, twistiest week that the game has ever seen. I won't say much, except for the fact that the person that leaves at the end of this week will not necessarily be out of the game. Good night, house guests, and as always, expect the unexpected. So the house got a little tease at what's to come this week. Now it's time to fill you in. Tune in next time to find out who becomes the new head of household, which two house guests they nominate for eviction, and if the power of veto saves one house guest from eviction. And 1 week from tonight, next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, is a fake double eviction. 2 house guests will be voted out, but one of them will have a chance to return to the game. More details coming next week. And don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube to see other videos like our rankings on the Final 8. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at BigBrother_SS for more details about episodes for the rest of the season, as well as seasons coming this summer. For now, let's eavesdrop on the house guests. From outside the Big Brother house, I'm Julie Chen Moonves. Good night.